The story of Nie Xiaoqian. On a humid summer evening, long ago in the Ming Dynasty, a weary scholar trudged along a dusty road. His name was Nie Xiaoqian. He was poor, so poor that his worn-out shoes were patched 3 times over, and his food bag was empty, but for a few cold beans. Like many young men of his time, Ning dreamed of success in the imperial examinations. Passing them would mean fame, fortune, and honor for his family. But the reality was cruel. He had already failed more times than he could count. And now, on this journey to yet another examination site, he carried more doubt than hope. As dusk thickened into night, Ning found himself near a crumbling old temple on the outskirts of a town. The walls leaned with age, ivy crawling across its surface like dark veins. He hesitated. Rumors whispered that the temple was haunted. Locals avoided it after dark. But Ning had no money for an inn. His legs trembled with fatigue, and the night air grew heavy with the distant howls of dogs and the croak of frogs. He told himself, "A roof is better than the open road." Ghosts? Superstitions? I'm too tired to fear them. Pushing open the warped wooden doors, he stepped inside. The interior was silent, except for the faint rustle of bats overhead. The altar to forgotten gods stood cracked, offerings long since turned to dust. Ning laid out his thin bedding, lit a tiny oil lamp, and prepared to rest. But just as he drifted toward sleep, a faint knock echoed from the courtyard. Tock, tock, tock. At first, he thought it was the wind. Then, unmistakably, a voice, soft, feminine, slipped through the silence. "Is anyone here?" Ning sat upright, his pulse quickening. Through the half-broken door appeared a figure, delicate, slender, and graceful. A young woman, carrying herself with elegance far beyond the dusty temple setting. Her face glowed pale in the lamplight, her features almost too perfect. Her lips curved like petals of a cherry blossom, her eyes dark pools of mystery. She wore flowing garments of gauzy silk, though strangely, not a speck of dust clung to them despite the hour and the road outside. Ning stammered, "Lady, at this hour? Why would you be here?" The woman lowered her eyes, speaking in a voice barely louder than a sigh. "My name is Xiaoqian. I was traveling with my family, but I fell behind. Darkness fell, and I lost my way. Would you allow me to rest here for the night?" Her vulnerability disarmed him, though suspicion stirred in his mind. What respectable woman would wander alone at midnight? Her beauty drowned out his doubts. Trying to appear composed, he said, "Of course. The temple is no palace, but it offers shelter. Please, sit." Xiaoqian smiled faintly, settling near him. For a moment, silence lingered, heavy and strange. Ning noticed the air around her felt unnaturally cold, like a winter draft slipping under the door. Then, with a tilt of her head, she asked softly, "You are alone, sir?" "Yes," Ning admitted. Her eyes gleamed with an unreadable light. "Lonely, isn't it?" Her words carried a subtle pull, like invisible strings tugging at his heart. Ning felt warmth rushing to his face. A sudden thought struck him. Is she offering herself? But then, almost instinctively, he straightened and said, "Forgive me, lady. You seem noble. I am just a poor scholar. It would not be right to take advantage." For the first time, Xiaoqian's smile faltered. Her gaze darkened, her lips pressed tight. The flame of Ning's oil lamp flickered violently. Though there was no wind, shadows stretched unnaturally across the walls. And in that moment, he realized, this woman was no ordinary traveler. The silence grew unbearable. Finally, Ning forced himself to speak. "Lady Xiaoqian, forgive my bluntness, but are you truly human?" Xiaoqian's shoulders trembled. For a heartbeat, she looked like she might deny it. But then, with a bitter smile, she whispered, "No, I died many years ago." The words hit Ning like ice water. His throat went dry, his body stiff. Yet strangely, instead of fleeing, he stayed rooted to the ground. She continued, her voice filled with sorrow. "I was buried near this place, but my spirit was captured by a cruel demon who dwells in the forest. By night, I am forced to lure travelers to their doom. If I refuse, I suffer torment beyond death itself." Her hands clutched at her sleeves, knuckles pale. "I never wanted this fate. And yet, here I am, bound to harm the innocent." Ning's heart ached. He saw not a monster, but a soul trapped in despair. Against all reason, he reached out and said, "Then don't harm me. I believe you. Perhaps I can help you." Tears glistened in her eyes, though strangely, none fell. She whispered, "You are a kind man. Too kind. But if you wish to help, you must be braver than you know. The demon who enslaves me is powerful, beyond what mortals can bear." Before Ning could respond, a sudden gust extinguished his oil lamp. Darkness swallowed the temple, except for the faint glow of Xiaoqian's figure. And from the courtyard came a sound, a deep, guttural growl, inhuman and hungry. The growl grew louder. Heavy footsteps scraped across the stone courtyard. Ning's heart pounded as if it might burst from his chest. Xiaoqian's voice trembled. "He comes, the demon who binds me." Through, the temple doorway slithered a shape, towering, grotesque. Its skin was the color of rotting wood, its eyes burning with a green, unholy light. Long claws scraped the ground, sparks flying from stone. The creature's voice rumbled like thunder. "Girl! Why do you delay? The mortal soul is mine." Ning froze, his body refusing to move. But Xiaoqian stepped in front of him, her slender form shielding him. "No," she cried. "He is different. He showed me mercy. I won't deliver him to you." The demon's laughter shook the rafters. "Defiance? You dare defy me?" Just as the beast lunged, a sudden flash of light split the darkness. A sword, pure, radiant, blazing with talismans, slashed through the air. A man strode into the temple, tall, fierce-eyed, his robes the simple garb of a wandering Taoist. His long beard swayed as he shouted, "Monster! Your evil ends tonight!" It was Yan Chixia, the famed exorcist. His presence filled the room with a force stronger than the stench of death. With a battle cry, he thrust his sword, striking the demon. Sparks erupted, the creature shrieking in pain. "Scholar!" Yan shouted over his shoulder. "Stay back! Ghosts and demons are not for your kind to fight." But Ning, trembling, stepped forward. "Wait! Xiaoqian, she's not like the others. She's a victim. Please." "Spare her," Yan's eyes narrowed. He glanced at the ghostly woman, who stood trembling yet resolute. "Not all spirits are wicked," he admitted. "But to free her, we must first destroy the beast that enslaves her." The demon howled again, charging. Yan met it head-on, his sword blazing. The clash shook the temple, dust raining from the beams. Ning could only clutch his chest, praying desperately. At last, with a final strike, Yan drove the sword through the demon's heart. The monster erupted in a burst of green flame, shrieking until nothing remained but ash. The silence that followed felt unreal. Xiaoqian collapsed, pale light flickering around her like a candle about to go out. She looked at Ning with sorrowful eyes. "It's over. But I I have no home to return to. My body lies in an unmarked grave, far from here. Without proper burial, my soul cannot rest." Ning's throat tightened. "Then I will give you peace. Tell me where you are buried. I swear, I will see you laid to rest with honor." Yan Chixia lowered his sword, his expression softening. "Brave words for a penniless scholar. But I see your heart is true. If you do this, she may yet find release." In the days that followed, Ning searched tirelessly. He borrowed money, begged favors, endured ridicule. At last, he found Xiaoqian's neglected grave. With trembling hands, he arranged for her remains to be reburied with dignity, proper rites, offerings, and prayers. As the final incense smoke curled into the air, Xiaoqian appeared one last time before him. Her form was faint, almost transparent, yet her beauty glowed even brighter than before. "Ning Xiaoqian," she whispered, tears shimmering like pearls. "In life, I was bound by chains of fear. In death, I am freed by your kindness. If there is another life, I will find you again." She reached out, her fingers brushing his cheek like the lightest breeze. And then, she was gone, dissolving into the air, like mist under the morning sun. Ning stood alone, the echo of her touch lingering. His heart was heavy, yet strangely full. Years passed. Ning Xiaoqian continued his struggles as a scholar, his path no less difficult. But those who knew him noticed a change. He carried himself with quiet strength, as if he bore a secret sorrow and a secret hope. He never forgot Xiaoqian. To some, she was just a ghost story, a cautionary tale told to frighten children. But to Ning, she was real. A soul who had taught him that love and kindness could reach beyond the boundary of life and death. And so the story spread. In tea houses and roadside inns, travelers whispered, "Have you heard of the scholar who loved a ghost? Of the maiden named Nie Xiaoqian, whose beauty and sorrow still linger under the moonlight?" Some dismissed it as fantasy. Others swore it was true. But one thing remained certain. In a world of fleeting power and crumbling empires, the tale of Ning Xiaoqian and Nie Xiaoqian endured. An immortal legend of compassion, courage, and love that defied even the grave.